Racing games come in all different shapes and sizes, but if there's one thing that connects them all, it's that they're all about getting from one place to another in the fastest time possible. Nobody ever said that the actual travelling element should be quick though. The vehicles in Overpass, a new off-road racing game from Swedish developer Zordix, may be powerful, but they're not quick, and your speed rarely gets above 20 miles per hour. The power is instead used to get up seemingly impossible slopes and over rocks. You need to seriously think about the route you are taking. This is not the first off-road racing game to tread this path. Indeed, there are elements of Mud Runner in how you need to know your terrain and the best way to approach each situation. There's no point flooring the throttle as you attempt to climb a muddy slope, as you'll just get stuck and probably start to slide back down again. Fortunately, there's a decent tutorial on hand to teach you the basics, and this can be replayed as many times as you like. There's also a nice free roam area full of obstacles and surface types, which you can play to your heart's content. There are two types of vehicle that you'll need to get to grips with. Easiest to handle is the UTV, which is essentially a small one-man buggy with a lot of power and nothing more than a cage for protection. The ATV though requires use of the right joystick for independent control of the rider. This is so you can lean into slopes and stop yourself from falling off. Realistic mud sticks nicely to the tyres, and the suspension reacts believably to every rock and bump. It all looks nice too, with each location offering something different with some nice lighting and weather effects. Menu screens offer up only a few ways to play, with Career being the main single player mode. This takes you through 12 weeks of competition, where you can choose which events you want to take part in from a grid. Whether you win or lose, there will always be more events to choose from, but it's only by winning them that you can unlock new vehicles and upgrades. At the end of the 12 weeks, if you're ranked in the top 8 races, you'll qualify for the end of season event. Once the season is over, any upgrades that you've unlocked will carry over when you start a new game. Shorter obstacle courses are easily the most enjoyable ones in the game. In these, you're required to drive over man-made obstacles such as seesaws and strategically placed piles of logs, tyres or pipes. These courses offer a more focused route to take, whereas the rest of the time the courses are so wide that you've got no idea whether the route that you're attempting and constantly failing is the best one. Couple this with the fact that you've got no idea how far along the stage you are, and you have a game in desperate need of a HUD that tells you way more information than it does. You don't even know how your current performance compares to the rest of the field. The gold, silver and bronze time targets that precede each challenge actually have no bearing on your placement in the competition either, and so may as well not even be there. Courses are generally overlong, with some taking over 10 minutes to finish, and even the slightest mistake is punished. We lost count of how many times we got a tyre completely stuck between rocks or had the buggy roll over and out of bounds. If the game actually allowed players to rock the car upright, it would have been a lot easier to take, but instead you have to hold down the respawn button for a few painful seconds every time. When you eventually cross the finish line, the sense of relief is palpable, but only because you're glad it's over. Unless of course it's one of the many 3-lap races, in which case there's a sense of reservation and despair at having to repeat what you've just endured 2 more times. Overpass is an interesting idea, but its good points are far outweighed by the bad. Unless you're playing split screen or online, where opponents are represented by ghosts, races are always against the clock and have no sense of urgency to them. The feeling you're left with is one of intense frustration, and it can't really be recommended to anyone.